Greetings, everybody. It's Garotha Kofe, and it is August 18th, 2021. I am in my laboratory, if you want to call it that, in my kitchen, if you want to call it that, getting ready to do some studying, and just kind of here breathing and just taking in the day's energy and really allowing myself to flow and let my thoughts go as they go. I look at the symbolism that I have in this room and realize so many parts of me that I've externalized. To remind myself who I am, what I am, my genetics, my history, my family, familial bonds, familial past, ancestors, and symbolism, and just many things that resonate or did resonate at some point in time of my soul's journey, not just in this lifetime, but in past lifetimes as well. And realizing that every moment is a new truth. Every moment is a new, how can I say, lesson, I guess you could say. And one of the lessons that or not lessons, but just realizations that I had yesterday, just as I'm in my thought, thinking about the world as it is today, and the way that it chooses. And when I say the world, I mean humanity. The whole world is not on the same frequency and vibration. That should be clear. But humanity, the reality is that as the world changes, as viruses are released, whether they're released from the earth or released from labs in Wuhan or wherever it came from, I am of the mind that it came from the earth. And of course, I'm speaking about COVID. But what I realize is that, we have this vaxxer and anti-vaxxer thing. We have this mask, no mask thing. I don't put a label on myself. I flow as needed, but I am one who believes that if I'm going to catch this virus, and I don't believe that I am, But even if I do, according to them, I may have already had it and just not had any symptoms. But if I'm going to catch it, it's clear at this point for anyone who actually is paying attention. As of yesterday, the governor of Texas, who is vaccinated, has caught COVID. Uh, and that's not to say any particular thing, that's just to say no amount of masking, and all of the experts will tell you this. No amount of masking or vaccination will keep you from catching this virus. And my thought yesterday as I was walking with no mask in the hallway of my apartment building, and a man with a mask walking a dog to the elevator, he completely went like wide berth, don't want to be anywhere near me. And it's fine. But the fear that I perceived and felt in him was a confirmation of what I felt when I was out and about yesterday at the store. And it told me, it brought up a realization in me that as much as people who have been vaccinated and wear the masks and all of these kinds of things fear the possibility of being infected by people who don't wear masks, the people who actually should fear anything, if they were to fear, would be those who are not wearing masks, those who are not vaccinating. And what I mean by that is not fearing the virus, not fearing, all of that, but fearing the people who are so fearful that they want to control other people's behaviors. I understand community. I understand civilization. I understand people wanting to do things for the collective good and all of those kinds of things. However, this still is a reality where each and every one of us has our own autonomy, our own sovereignty, our own ability to make decisions on our own and for ourselves. No one has to make decisions according to other people. You don't have to. Sometimes it's encouraged to, but you don't have to. You always have the ability to make a decision. Always. Always. And so, it is those people who fear the virus, who fear other people making choices that could affect them and all of these kinds of things. If you're going to get the virus, you're going to get the virus. There is no preventing that. Right? It's clear. If you're wearing a mask, you can't prevent it. If you're vaccinated, you can't prevent it. So, what is the thought process? What is the logic behind trying to force other people to wear masks and get vaccinated if, in fact, it's not going to stop you from catching the virus? What is the logic? If I choose, if I decide for me that I don't want to get vaccinated, that I don't want to wear a mask, right? That is with the full knowledge that it's possible that I could get the virus and die. But because I do not fear death, death is not an end for me. I know that there is something beyond death, a liberation, a rebirth. There is nothing to fear. Nothing. Nothing. And so, if I'm going to fear anything, it would be those people who want to control my ability to make a decision, my ability to choose for me. Because when the world begins to shift into falling apart more than it already is, right? When people start looking for food and when people are scrambling and scrounging and scavenging, those are the people. Those people who are so frantic and stressed out and anxiety driven to put on a mask and to get vaccinated even though they don't know what is in it, right? And I'm not knocking anybody who's gotten vaccinated. Do you make your choice, right? But all those people who are so frantic to do all of this out of fear are the same people who, out of that same fear of survival, will actually go out and begin to steal food from people and rob people and do all the kinds of things that you see in a end of the world apocalyptic type movie. My daughter's crying in the background. But that's my point, is these people who seem to be the most safe are the same people who will become the most unsafe when push comes to shove, as they call it. When the shit hits the fan. These are the people that you have to be afraid of, if you're going to be afraid. These are the people that you have to say, I cannot trust, because they will do anything outside of them, to people outside of themselves, to survive. It doesn't mean that I won't do anything to survive, but I won't do anything that will harm someone else. That doesn't resonate on the vibration of love. And when it comes down to it, that's all that matters. Love. So while you're trying to control people's ability to make decisions, while you're trying to control people's ability to decide for themselves what they want to do because you think it's a public endangerment, if you are going to die, you are going to die. And let me change that. No, not change it, but let me add to that. Most people, to prevent themselves from feeling the brunt of the virus, right? Most people are putting on masks, getting vaccinated. What that shows me, number one, is a lack of trust in the human body. Why do we have a lack of trust in the human body? One, we don't know ourselves. We don't know the human body the way we should. Two, because we don't know the human body, we don't know what we need to do to substantially improve and strengthen the human immune system, which is designed to fight viruses. Doesn't mean that vaccination is not something that is necessary and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not an anti vaxxer, but I am anti putting things into my body that have not been tested and proven. I am anti being forced to make a choice whether to vaccinate or not. I am one who believes in doing things uh, for me and mine. I was going to say something else, but that's okay. But you get what I'm saying, right? While most people are putting on masks and getting vaccinated, I'm taking colloidal silver and colloidal gold and garlic and ginger and probiotics and prebiotics and all type of stuff. Pal Diarco on the daily because I know that these herbs, these things that come straight from the earth are here to help me protect myself. Not even just herbs, but even like de-stressing, not working so much, doing literally the complete opposite. While everyone panics, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And, trying to find a way to make more money. And I make really good money. But I'm like, I could be out there driving a truck, doing my thing. Or that's not even my thing, but you know what I mean. I could be out there doing all that, more and more and more and more and more money, but it's stressful. It's it it is subtracting from me, from my ability to do what I love to do, from my ability to sit in silence, which is one of the biggest things for me. Because there's loud trucks everywhere and so on and so forth. So instead of making more money, I say I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna sit and relax and de-stress because I know that stress weakens the immune system. I'm going to sit and I'm going to have these conversations with my children, all four of them, even the baby. Have these conversations with my lover, my mistress, because she is part of my de-stress, because I've chosen wisely to be with a person who does not bring me stress. These are things that I naturally am like, you know what, I'm gonna move towards that because that feels better for my body. It feels good to drink tea. It feels good to sit and breathe and relax myself. Because I know, and rest, because I know that the body needs this to fight whatever is coming, to fight whatever is here, to fight whatever it needs to fight. It needs it. Don't fear. Don't fear any virus. Don't fear any death. Don't fear the things that the world fears. Don't even fear those people who are so desperate to live that they are willing to do whatever it takes, even control your ability to make decisions. which kind of goes back to what I originally was talking about. Externalization, what's inside, looking at the things in my room. It's a thought that I had the other day about, we externalize what we actually need on the inside or need to address on the inside, what we need or need to get rid of. So if we're externalizing fear, then there's some fear that we need to deal with on the inside of us. Or there's some fears that we actually need to listen to on the inside of us. If we're hungry all the time, hunger on the outside of us, then there's something on the inside of us that is hungry. And when I say inside, I don't mean only the physical body. I mean the spirit. Part of us that actually needs to be fed spiritually. And how do we do that? There's so many different ways. It depends on your design, really. For me, silence, sitting in contemplation and thought and meditation, eyes closed, breathing, inner vision. All those things. Writing, journaling, reading, singing to myself, loving myself, affirmations, mantras, visualization, imagination. Self-love is the eradication of fear. Eradication of fear. Eradication. It's made of a word. See that? Creativity on point. Anyway, fear not. But be aware of the future. Be aware of what's coming. Be aware of what's here. Be aware, most of all, of who you are. Forgive. Forget. And when I say forget, I used to say that I can forgive, but I don't always have to forget. And that's true, because you don't allow people to continue to walk over you after they've done things. And I know this is completely whatever, but I'm just streaming. But forgiveness for me, forgetting for me has become much more important because it is essential to moving forward. It's necessary to move into the future. And there is no future without the past. I understand that. This is the nature of time. But in order for us to move without hesitation, in order for us to move without carrying the things from the past with us into the future, which hinder us or weigh us down and don't allow us to make in the moment decisions because we're thinking too much about, well, this happened last time or whatever. We have to forget. We have to say, you know what, this is, why is my ear look like, it looks weird. We have to say what's in front of me. And that this thing that's in front of me is different from the thing that's behind me. Doesn't mean that I don't use the wisdom that I've gained. But it does mean that I don't make this decision of what's in front of me based off of a circumstance or person or situation from the past, from the fear of that, from the trauma of that. We have to allow things to fall off of us. We have to allow ourselves to let go in order to move forward, but bring the wisdom with us. There's a difference between holding on to experiences and holding on to wisdom. Wisdom comes from the experience, but it is not the experience. Oh, I need to make a whole nother video about that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. As always, I love you. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, comment, all that stuff. And I will do my best to continue to share with you, to continue to give as it is given to me. I love you as I love myself.